Let's now move on to the next topic, which is parent and child component communication. Earlier, we have seen how a parent component can pass down props to its children component. Any data in the parent component, when passed as props, is available in the children component. Now, what if a child component wanted to communicate with parent component? Strangely, we will use props, but this time we pass in reference to a function as props to the child component. Let me help you understand better with an example. I'm going to create a new file called parent.js. So parent component. Okay. Let's export const parent component, and within which we'll also write one function which says greet parent. Alerts hello parent. So as you can see, we have a function called parent component, which in turn has a function called greet parent, which alerts hello parent. Now what we'll do is we'll create one more file. As you can see, I've left the JSX empty for now. For now, let's go about creating one more component called child component. Okay, for simplicity, let's go about copy pasting things. Change the name, child component, and for now, I'll remove this. I'll just return a div which says, or let's say we have a button for it. Okay, so you want to communicate, right? So we'll greet the parent. Okay, now here in the JSX, what we do is we return the child component instead. So let's import it. So now if you see, you have a parent component which has some part of code, but what does it return? It returns a child component. So now what does a child component return? It returns a button called greet parent. Now we haven't called this parent component yet in our app.js, so let's do that first. Let's remove this and call parent component, remove the rest of the imports which are not necessary. Now if I go about showing you, you see there's greet parent, but if I click, is anything going to happen? No, not yet, because we haven't added any events as such. So what we'll do is go to the child component, and on click, what we'll do is, for now, let's just alert. Okay, let's just alert hi. Okay, things are working. But now I told you you want to communicate, right, from your parent to child. So how do we go about doing that is, so what I want to do is, as I click on the button which is present in the child component, I want to trigger the function within the what is within the parent component. So again, props comes into rescue. So how do you do that? So here you tell greet handler equals your greet parent. Sorry. Okay, again, since it is JSX, obviously don't forget to wrap things here. Okay, so now in the child component, how do you access it? So you have props over here, and now here, let's say you alert props dot, the name of the function is greet handler, right? Okay, sorry, not alert because you're calling the function. So let's just call it like this, or you can even call it like this. It's one and the same. So what does it do? This alerts hello parent, right? So now let's check refresh. Yeah, you see how the communication happens. So as I click on the button which is present in the child component, I'm calling a function as props present in your parent component. Yeah, so we used to pass props like string or even numbers or any other data types, but here what are we doing? We are passing a function which is in one component to another component. So this is kind of widely used. So if you understand this right, so your basics will be strong, and you can understand complex React codes even easily. So now let's say that, what if I want to pass here something? Okay, so let's say here I take one more props and then alert, say props greet parent, right? So props dot whatever I am passing it over here. So here I have to pass something. If I have to pass something here, then I have to make it an arrow function. So I'll tell pass a string and just pass my name, save, go back to parent and props dot the name, right? I named it. 1 second. Okay, it can be anything though. So yeah, now you have props. I guess props will be do. Let's see. Refresh. What's wrong? Yeah, greet parent. You have the child component which goes about passing the name, and the name has to be accessible over here. So let's change things. Let's go with template strings for now. Okay, and also have okay, hello. Yeah, as you can see, what are we doing now? There's a slight change which I did. So first we had only the function being called, which is in the parent component, but now even you can pass things back to your parent component, right? So how am I doing it? So there's a function within the parent component called as greet parent, which takes a props. So that props is actually being delivered by whom? Your child component. So is there a communication that happening between your parent and child? Yes. So this is what your parent and child communication is altogether. Okay, so we have successfully completed how one component can communicate with the another when it happens to be a child and parent relationship.